Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself." But what about a 12-year-old? Harrison Ramsey, H, is on a mission to eradicate meaningless business speak and wants to know what the guest does for a living. If the guest clearly describes their craft or job, they win. If not, they'll have time to further explain, and will know that they need to hone in their pitch.
Hi, I'm Todd Youngblood, founder and managing partner of the YPS Group. We do sales process engineering for sales productivity and efficiency. I'm here to face the H. I've got to say I've given my value proposition literally thousands of times. Never been quite this intimidated or nervous before I did so, but we'll see how it goes.
You have 1 minute.
I'm Harrison Ramsey.
I'm Todd Youngblood. Pleasure to meet you, Harrison.
Good to meet you. Tell me about what you do.
What I do, I help sales teams that sell business to business, sell more and sell faster. Gets a little bit complicated, but let's pretend for a minute you and I are salesmen for one company.
Okay.
You've got a 4-step sales process: identify, engage, propose, and close. Which of those 4 are you best at?
I don't.
Trick question. Trick question. You don't know why, because we haven't agreed on what that is. So first step in what I do is define those 4 terms.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say we have the definitions and we agreed on them.
Yes.
Now tell me which one you're best at.
Still a trick question.
It's still a question. You don't know because we haven't measured anything.
Yes.
So if we figure out for each of those 4 stages, how many opportunities you're working, how big are they, what percentage of them do you move to the next stage, and how long does that take you? So I have 4 measurements on 4. That's 16 scores.
Mm-hmm.
If you had 16 scores and I had 16 scores.
What is 16 scores?
What score? I'm best at this,
Okay.
at number of opportunities.
Okay.
And you're best at number of opportunities in stage 2, and I'm best at cycle time, how long it takes in stage 3. So if we have a score for each and a real number on how good you are and how good I am, could you tell me then how good you are?
Yes.
Because you'd have a number.
I would.
And you could tell the things that you're good at that I'm not so good at, the things I'm good at that you're not good at. So how could we work together?
Okay.
You take the things that you're good at, you can teach me. I'll take the things I'm good at, I'll teach you. And that's what we do. Lots more than 4 steps and a lot more than 4 measurements. But the idea is, what does it need that needs to get done? And what's your score? How good are you at it?
Okay.
And if you're good at X and I'm bad at X, I'm going to learn from you. And vice versa.
Okay.
That's what we do.
So y'all work together to become better salesmen together within the same company?
Within the same team, because we're teammates and we're helping each other like a soccer team, a football team, anything else.
So if I'm good at, let's say, running, and I would teach. So what you do is you help other people within your business, particular salespeople, to become better at what you're really good at, and then in exchange they will teach you on what you're better at, or at what they're better at.
Yep.
And
I mean, each of us as individuals, there's things you're really good at, there's things I'm really good at. And if we can find the opposites, where you're good and I'm bad, you can teach me. Where I'm good and you're bad, I can teach you. And I mean, it's that simple. Based on the numbers is the key thing, so you can measure it.
so when this is happening, y'all like pretty much work together so y'all can all be not equal, but like really good at as much as possible.
Well, we're equal, just like sometimes you're better than I am, sometimes I'm better, sometimes we're equal in some skills. So we work together as equals, as peers, recognizing that you have to kind of hide your ego a little bit and say, you know what, there's things I can learn from you.
Yes.
And you've got to do the same thing and say, okay, I can let my ego down. I'm not a genius. I'm not King Kong. I can learn things from you, whoever it is. My entire sales team gets a culture, if you want to call it that, of sharing what they're good at.
I have a problem doing that.
It's hard.
I can teach other people, but I can't take it in. They're trying to teach me, it kind of irritates me.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that's challenging about what I do, which is fun, by the way, is breaking through that. Now, like, seriously, Harrison, you're a soccer player, right?
I am.
Are you the best on your team at every single aspect of playing soccer?
Not even close.
Not even close. So okay, is it possible for you to learn something then from somebody else that's good at those? That's all it is. So you're cured. Okay, you've just admitted that you're not great at every aspect of the game. If you could identify the thing you're worst at soccer, and he is really good at that thing, and he taught you how to do it better, what happens to your overall gain?
It increases.
Right. And then let's do it again.
Okay.
Now that's not the worst thing. You move that up, now you got a new thing that you're worst at. And he's good at that. So he can help you get, now you move that one up.
And
You
then
take the next one.
I would help them.
Right, right. And everybody on the team is helping everybody else. And so everybody takes the thing that they're worst at, learns how to get better at it. And now that's not the worst thing they do anymore. It's something else. And you can repeat that forever. I mean, the idea of continuous improvement is a big
Never
deal.
perfect.
You're never perfect, no matter how good you get. You want to pursue perfection. Because you pursue perfection, you achieve
get
excellence.
better. Yes.
Excellence that's a reasonable goal. Perfection's not. But getting better every day it's exhilarating. I mean, it's fun. It makes you feel
Always
good.
something new.
Yeah. It's especially interesting when you identify something and when you realize it in your own head that I didn't even know that X was important to be good at. It never even occurred to me that I had to do X, whatever that might be. And somebody like a coach.
Yeah.
I'm a coach, if you want to look at it that way and say, hey, you're really bad at identifying opportunities. It's like, oh, you're right. That is important. I never thought about it before. Well, how do you do that? And then you have a conversation and you learn to get better.
So what are you say you have multiple sales people in your business?
Well, in my business, my customers, so I work with the sales team. So there's the ABC
In which
company.
business?
It's called the YPS Group.
YPS Group. Okay.
The Y is Youngblood, so
Right.
I named it after myself. I have an ego too. But yeah, I work with some companies that might just have 3 or 4 sales professionals. I work with companies that have 300 or 400.
Oh, so that's your business, working with people
I
that.
coach the sales team, so I'm like the coach of the sales
I
team.
thought you worked together with your company.
I'm sorry. No, okay. Yeah. It's other companies.
Glad you clarified that for me.
Yeah, I should have. I think the analogy. Thank you. You just helped me get a little bit better. I should have talked about the fact that I'm like a coach of a sports team.
Yeah.
So I'm not on the team. I'm not playing, but I'm kind of watching from above and helping everybody identify strengths and weaknesses, and getting the teammates to communicate with one another.
Definitely.
The whole idea is each individual gets lifted up and gets a little better.
So you can get a better team.
The whole team. Exactly.
So what are some of the things that make your business unique from other businesses that do this?
I mentioned it earlier, I think, and it's the sales personality in general is a cowboy. Like, I'm good. Give me my sales kit and get out of my way. I don't need any help. I can do it all by myself. I mean, that's just generally, that's what a sales, you have to have that kind of ego and drive as a sales professional. So the idea of saying, wait a minute, we're going to define, identify, and engage, and we're going to define what that sales process is. So I'm taking this cowboy and saying, no, this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to measure it. And we're going to measure how good you are at every one of those stages. It's intimidating, because all of a sudden, I'm exposed that I'm really bad at stage 3, and I don't like that. So I have to coach the sales professionals through that ego punch in the nose, and to say, okay, I took the punch in the nose. I took it. Now I'm ready to get better. I'm ready to acknowledge I got hit. I'm ready to acknowledge how I can keep that from happening next time. And that's back to that whole idea of just better every day. Just get a little bit better.
So with an individual person working on their sales, about how long does that take?
Longer than I wish it took. It's easier if I could to answer the question for a whole sales team, because that's my job as the coach, to make the team better.
Answer that.
So I work with each individual to make them better. But to get the whole team, it takes 12 to 18 months. It's a lot harder than you think initially to define the actual process. I mean,
I imagine so.
I did a simple 4 steps, but if you're selling a robot that's in a factory that needs to be coordinated with 20 other robots and 6 conveyor belts.
What is a conveyor belt?
You've seen them on TV. It's a belt, and you picture a bunch of spokes with a belt going around. It might be 50 or 100 feet long, and you'll put that on the belt, and it conveys it because the belt's moving.
Oh yeah.
So I can move a part from here to here, and then the robot will pick it up.
Which has something to do with specialization?
Right. So pictures trying to sell that, it's really complicated.
Yeah.
And so to sell it, I mean, you got to get that robot and the other 19 robots and explain how they're all going to work together. And so that the complexity of it is what makes it take so long.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually we'll start with 4 steps, and after 8 or 9 months of working on it, we may have 50 or 100 steps, and we're measuring all.
You just go by 4 by 4?
Yep.
To make it seem like you're breaking it down.
Yep. And the longer we work with a company, the more we break it down. We'll start with 4, and then we'll break each of those 4 steps into 4 sub-steps, and each of those 4 into another 4. And so it gets, then you need a computer system to keep track of all the scorecards, because you might be measured 50 or 60 or 100 different things.
So where exactly do you work, location-wise?
All over the place.
So all over the U.S., Arizona?
As far north as Montreal, as far south as Monterrey, Mexico, as far east, I don't know, how far east can you get in the United States?
California.
California I've done work.
As west.
So the whole country. East. What's furthest east? New York City maybe, or Boston? Boston might be further east.
I believe it's Maine, something around there.
I've never done any business in Maine. I should go sell something there.
You should.
Maybe you can help. I'll be famous after this video gets published.
Well, thank you for your time.
Harrison,
I really appreciate it.
It was fun talking to you.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Todd Youngblood seemed like a great dude, and that I loved the way he communicated with me with soccer and sports, because that's obviously what I love. I would probably give him a 7.5, just because he didn't get it right within the first minute of the conversation. At first I thought he worked with salespersons in his business to increase his ability and those other person's ability. But then in the second part of the conversation, he ended up explaining that he works with other companies, and to teach them goes 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 to increase their ability. It takes around 12 to 18 months, so it turned out to be a completely different job. But I did enjoy meeting him. He was a great dude.
It was interesting. I had myself kind of mentally prepared just to have another business meeting like I've had, for 40 years I've had business meetings. It was a little odd to walk in and see the mohawk. That was a first. I've never seen a mohawk on the person I'm making a call on before. And the way this young man was so poised and so cool, and had the fist on the chin and the thoughtful, Mike Tyson kind of stare, and you had his chair jacked up and mine way down. So that I was consciously aware of all that in the first few seconds, which threw me off a little bit. But then very, very quickly it was like any other business conversation. And it struck me that in terms of needing to dumb something down is really, I thought about that ahead of time, it was really totally beside the point. I think one thing I learned from the experience is you've got to be clear and articulate and simple. And you can talk about a lot, you can get into the complexities, and I think we did that in the conversation afterward, when it was more of a give and take, when he was asking questions and I was asking questions, and then we began to dig down into that detail. But the initial value proposition, and I've preached this for years, simple, quick, easy to understand by anybody. It was a hoot. It's the kind of thing, I think I have a grin on my face now. I can't tell. If I had a mirror I could see it, but it was fun. And in fact, I'll add to that is that every time you have a conversation with an interesting person and you feel like you've communicated something, that's just psychically rewarding for a sales guy. And I got that psychic reward out of this. I think he learned something. I think H learned a thing or two he didn't know. And I learned just the story I just told. I came out of it being a little bit smarter. Harrison, thanks for having me.
Hello everybody, this is H. If you liked this video, please subscribe. The next video is right here, and the previous video is right here. Thank you.